Good morning, Miramar, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tamara G. Be sure to check us out on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at City of Miramar. And with me this morning, we all know it's right here in Miramar, but apparently it's right here in Kendall too. We have Miami-Dade College President, Dr. Pascal Charlot. She is the president of the Miami-Dade College Kendall campus, and we're so happy to have you, Dr. Charlot. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. It is an absolute pleasure.
Well, listen, we're going to get right into it because I know that we're getting ready to start a new semester and people are raring to go back. First of all, is campus open in Kendall?
Absolutely. So Miami-Dade College is open. And as some of you may know, we're in 8 locations throughout the county. We have courses in person, we have courses online. So geography should not be a barrier to entry because we are definitely open.
That is awesome. And you know what? I think that's the first step, right? Because as a college president, you want students on your campus, correct?
Absolutely. Yesterday was the first day of classes, and I had the opportunity to meet mostly first time in college right out of high school. And I have to tell you, they're still nervous. They're still anxious about what it means to be in college. And they're very hopeful, right? Because people come here because they want something to change in their lives. And so I think that's something we don't want to lose sight of, is the critical role education plays in setting people up for success for whatever they'd like to do next in their lives.
And the cool thing about Miami-Dade College, first of all, let's just talk about the fact that now you all are you're a 4-year institution, because when I first moved to South Florida, it was Miami-Dade Junior College. And now you've got the 4-year accreditation.
Not only that, but we have 4-year degree programs that are outstanding. Our data analytics program is number 2 out of the top 10 for affordability and quality. That means people are coming here earning a bachelor's in data analytics and radically changing the trajectory of their careers. So you're absolutely right. We continue to offer those longer term options like a 4-year degree, which a lot of our students are working while earning those credentials. We also have bachelor's in supply chain and in human resources, which are highly sought after. But we have our traditional associate's degrees, as well as college credit certificates and even shorter and more rapid credentialing.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So we know that, as you mentioned, people can get a bachelor's, they can get an associate's, they can also get credentials, because you may have to take a certain class for something that you're doing and you need to get credentialed. Talk a little bit about that, Dr. Charlot, because maybe some folks out there don't exactly know what that means.
Sure, without a doubt. And so there are different reasons people will come to Miami-Dade College. You could be someone who just graduated from high school, a little over 18, 19 years old, and you decide you want to start here in order to earn a 4-year degree. And you can earn what traditionally is an Associate of Arts degree in those 2 years if you come full-time. You satisfy the foundational courses you need, and you begin to get into the pathway to the major that you're interested in. Then you can transfer to a 4-year school, and typically people transfer from here to FIU. That's the most seamless relationship. But as many know, in the state of Florida, we have articulation agreements throughout the state. So that makes it a lot easier for, number one, your family to save money, because you're paying less at a place like Miami-Dade College and still earning the quality. And then you transfer into that higher tuition bracket for the final remaining years. So that's one credential you can earn. Another credential is in the Associate of Science pathway, where what you earn prepares you to go right into the workforce. The additional credential is not needed in the short term, but you will have what you need in order to move right into the workforce. And a lot of our in-tech engineering and technology programs are regarded for those workforce readiness credentials. In addition, and I think really what you were talking about, I just talk a lot and gave you the big picture.
I got it.
Okay. And I recognize people are listening from different places, so I want to make sure that everyone feels they have an entry point into the conversation. But I think what you're talking about very specifically is so relevant in this moment, because COVID has disrupted the economy as we understand it. And if you drive around Kendall, and it's probably the same in Miramar, you're going to see a lot of your favorite places are now closed.
Yeah.
The economy could not sustain the disruption. And so many people who work in those smaller businesses and the mom and pop shops and some of our favorite traditional institutions that are no longer here, they're looking for work. And so in those instances, these rapid credentials, upskilling options are shorter certificates, which means 4 or 5 classes you can take and change your options just by completing those sequence of courses. So you can think, for example, digital marketing is hot right now. Help desk, working in technology is hot right now. And what's important to remember, if you choose to go this pathway, is these certificates can open up jobs at institutions that have additional career advancement opportunities. So if you think, for example, like Kendall, we're surrounded by hospitals.
Right.
We are in a medical corridor here. And I've been in conversation with Baptist and Leon medical centers, and they are hungry to bring people in that they can grow in their organizations. And so as one thinks about options, you want to be mindful that what options will open up more doors, right? Because we know healthcare is only going to grow. We know technology is only going to grow. And especially as you think about this business of Miami becoming Silicon Beach, right? And with that comes the gig economy, which are the Ubers and the supply chain options that are starting to really try to mirror the Amazon experience.
Well, Amazon is here.
And Amazon is
here.
that's yeah. Right. So do we want to play in the game, right? And what's our entry ticket into the game? And that's where a partner like Miami-Dade College could be helpful.
That is awesome. So listen, if you are just now tuning in, you are finding more and more ways that you can change and do things better in this new world economy and this new world that we have. I wouldn't even say post-COVID, but in the middle of COVID. And have you found, Dr. Charlo, that a lot of the students have come back to your older students, maybe someone, my age, who is like, you know what, I have been working on this job for 20 years and I hate this job. So guess what? I'm going to go back to school, or I'm going to get some type of certification in something that I like. Is that happening on your campus?
Okay, so we have to have a conversation about what's old, because I think we're in the same bucket. I'm not going down that road.
I can tell you, I'm further on this side than I am on this side.
Listen, there's only one way to go, and that's up, right? But in all seriousness, I met a woman yesterday who was exactly the student you were describing, and she was so cute. She had her little backpack on, and I think what you find is that people come here with a sense of hopefulness. Mm-hmm. Because when you are, I won't say older, when you're younger, when you're years older, younger, time is money. It's not just about the cost, but the time you're spending here is not time you're spending with your family. It's not time you're spending on your self-care. So that the opportunity cost of coming gets a little bit higher, right? Because of the investment of time. And what I'm finding is that people are coming with a clear sense of purpose. And so you don't have the same sense of exploration. There's a lot more direction.
You want to get in and get out, basically.
You want to get in and get out. And they're also serious about the work, right? Because there's a real clear outcome that they want for themselves and their family. And typically when people are working, they're earning these credentials, often, not always, to advance in an existing career. So they're layering credentials on top of what they already have. And in that sense, we are a key partner to do it pretty quickly.
Okay, awesome. If you're just tuning in, I am speaking with Miami-Dade College president of the Kendall campus, Dr. Pascal Charlo. And we've been talking today about students going back to the campus, whether you are a young student, whether you just finished school, high school, and you are going onto the campus and you're so excited because you're a freshman on a college campus, or if you are even an older student or someone who has been in the workforce for many years and wanting to change the direction of where you're going right now. Do you all have help for those students? Now, the new generation, they know how to do all the computer stuff. They can work it all. they can do miracles, but maybe there are some who, are less hesitant, or they don't have those particular technical skills. Do you all have some help for them?
Absolutely. And I will say to you, this new remote learning environment is a challenge for everybody, because it's a different way of teaching and learning.
Mhm.
And students learn in lots of different ways. Some of us are tactile, some of us need to see a human in order to connect with something. I still like books. I don't read the same on something digital as I do. I want to smell the paper, right? And so, I think it's important to recognize that no matter where you are on the spectrum of learning, there's a place for you. And so we have our learning support environment where we can offer tutoring virtually, and our library is open. We have faculty who will figure out how to support you in their classroom if that's an area where you need assistance. But you are not alone. Everyone is struggling with the amount of time we're spending online now more than before, which also affects your ability to retain information, right? It's one thing if you're on for 1 hour or 30 minutes with you, it's another if you've done 8 hours of classes.
Right.
So I think there's a recognition that this new teaching and learning environment demands more of all of us. And there is no one who is skilled any more than anyone else. There may be some different levels of familiarity, but this is new for all of us. And I would say for anyone listening, not to allow that to be a barrier if
Okay.
you're thinking about coming back to school.
Speaking of coming back to school, Dr. Charlo, so we've talked about the people who are coming to campus. They are, sitting in the classrooms, no matter what their age is. Are you all giving, in this age of COVID, are you giving the option of actually taking classes online and being able to test online?
Yes, so we're offering different modalities, and I'm so happy you asked that question because it can be confusing for people to figure out what makes sense for them.
Mhm.
So our MDC online option, which has traditionally been around for years, is formerly known as our virtual college. It's a course you can take, and the course is taught asynchronously, meaning that the professor may not be live in front of you, and you take it when it's convenient for you.
Oh, wow. Things have changed since I've been in college. Okay.
Things have changed quite a bit, and that works for some better than it works for others, and that's where it's helpful for you to know what your schedule is like, what you prefer. Then there is synchronous, where it would be similar to what we're doing. I could be teaching and you're in the class and we're engaging and it's in real time, but it's still happening in this format, right?
Full
And then
format.
we have something called MDC Live, where the professor can be in the class and at times could be teaching online virtually, but it's still synchronous. We're still together,
Okay.
right? So it's a hybrid type of model. And then of course there's a traditional face-to-face. You show up in a classroom, there's a desk or a table, and you are with other students. And I have to tell you, Tamara,
Mhm.
that's what students want the most right now. They are asking us whenever possible to allow them to be together. This isolation business, people are over it.
But we know that, obviously Miami-Dade College, the Kendall campus, you all are adhering to all of the COVID protocols as well.
Without a doubt. Thank you for that public service announcement. She's absolutely right. We have face masks available for those who want it. In fact, we're offering vaccines at pop-up sites throughout our 8 locations. We have COVID testing. So we're very sensitive to all of the conditions that we need to feel safe. And we encourage people to take care of one another as well. When appropriate, the decision can be made to flip a class so that it's not in person. So you're absolutely right. I think what we're also facing in this moment in time, these high school kids in particular, they've been remote for a really long time.
18 months or so. Yeah.
It's been a long time. So their prom was affected, right? Their graduation was affected. And there's a real sense of urgency around being with other people. So we're sensitive to balancing all those considerations. You're absolutely right. And everyone has the right of choice, including those who teach. So I think it's important to recognize that it is a complicated moment in time, but it's a manageable moment. And as we start looking forward, because we will be on the other side of this thing, our commitment is that we will. We're people of faith. We will. But we also don't want any communities to get left behind. And that's really why I'm here today, because there's so much going on. It can be discouraging to think about what the future could look like. In fact, some people can't even see a future.
And that is so sad, Dr. Charlo, because truly, there are some people who have a plan for their lives. Now, of course, we always say, if you make plans, God laughs, but at least you have a plan. You're like, I'm going to graduate from college, or I'm going to graduate from high school. Then I'm going to go to college. Then I'm going to get my first job. Then I'm going to get my first job in New York. And then I'm going to get my first job in, Miami or wherever. But at least you are thinking that way. And there truly are some people out there who in this last year and a half have just kind of given up hope because they don't even see a way out of this. And of course, that could be due to depression. That could be due to, just their circumstances. Family members have lost jobs. They've lost family members to death, and they just can't see moving forward. Talk a little bit about that.
You're right. So it's a number of things, right? And I'm definitely not an expert. I'm in this with you, right? We're figuring this out together, but there's a lot of grief. People are grieving lost loved ones, but they're also grieving the security we used to have in life. Now when you go to the bathroom, before you didn't want to touch anything, now you really want to touch
anything. Right.
Now we've gotten accustomed to wearing a mask, which is just a barrier to connecting to someone's spirit. There's something heavy that comes with the psychological burden that we're carrying. And so I agree with you 100% that where we are meeting people, is in a place where we have to be intentional about the connection. Like, I love the spirit of your show because it's coming from such a genuine place of heart and soul, right? Like, you're meeting people at home, and from the time you open up, you're in community.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's all about community. It's all about what can we do to make community better. It's, not getting over on anyone or trying to, do anything better. It's just, what can we do to make community better? How can we help people? And I would love to answer or ask this question too, because we are in Miramar and you're in Kendall, Miami-Dade College. You guys are open to having us Broward people come down there to Kendall.
You're gonna try to get me in trouble. So, as you have local institutions up there, and everyone is open to coming everywhere, right? Like,
and that's what a college campus is. That's one of the things that I'm sure I call them kids, but the students miss and maybe didn't know about, because when I went to my college, I was one of 50,000, and you meet everybody. You meet different cultures, different races, people who have different sexuality, different mindsets, different political organizations. I mean, it just opens your mind. It opens your mind.
I think that's right. So first of all, let me just be clear. I would love, my arms are open. You can't see it because it's off the screen, right? I mean, I certainly would love anyone who's interested in our programs to consider coming here. I do think there is a larger conversation in support of what you're talking about in terms of community, is that, as your listeners are listening, the world is changing really, really fast. And for those of us who are on the fence about what to do next, for those of us who started something and didn't finish something, for those of us who have our own businesses, I mean, there's support there as well. Now is a great time to start getting yourself ready for what's coming.
Right.
Because there's more coming.
Oh yeah. It's changing every day. So you've got to be prepared. As my mother would say, I stay ready. I'm always ready. so I don't have to get ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
think that's absolutely right. And so I just wanted to give you a couple of options because there's another answer, a more specific answer to your question. I mentioned earlier that classes started yesterday. We have classes starting at different intervals. So the classes started yesterday are 16 weeks in duration. We have classes starting 14-week, 10-week, 12-week, et cetera, throughout the month of September and in October. There are different durations of courses. And so if people are interested, it's not too late. And I have to also share with you, Tamara, that with COVID, the one positive is the federal government has invested resources. And so, people can apply for aid that would not have been possible before and potentially be able to get their courses covered. And when you meet with financial aid, they can walk you through these options, but you have to take the first step.
Thank you. And that is the first. And let me tell you, to be able to graduate from college without debt is great. I wouldn't know because I had debt and I paid it off, but it took me a while. It took me 10 years to pay it off. But, so if you can go for free, then please get in contact with Miami-Dade College, especially the Kendall campus, where we're speaking this morning with President Dr. Pascal Charlot. Dr. Charlot, before we go, you have got to tell us about the Presidential Scholars Program, because this is something that is new and, again, a great way for people to go to college and maybe not even pay for it.
Absolutely. And so the one thing Miami-Dade College has done really, really well is create different types of learning communities that get customized and personalized supports based on the criteria in those communities. And you just identified our newest venture, our Presidential Scholars. They were just inducted last week, 300 of them. These scholars have a 3.5 GPA and higher, and they receive a lot of perks that other students don't receive, including individualized attention. They have access to the college president, in addition to myself as a campus president. We'll be introducing them to local business leaders. But most importantly, we want to know their dreams so that we can help them get from point A to point B and a whole lot closer to fulfilling their dreams. The Presidential Scholars is one category. We also have our Honors College, which is a program that's world renowned. Our students graduate from honors and they transfer to Yale and Harvard and MIT and Princeton. So if you're a student that's interested in those types of institutions, that's another category of scholarships we have. We have a Rising Black Scholars program. New program started this summer also that has scholarship support and creates a learning community that started several months before the fall. And so during the summer, they went to visit the Van Gogh exhibit. They did some other outdoor activities, but it's a real recognition that in all of these communities, it's a heightened commitment to the Miami-Dade College mission to meet you where you are.
Excellent. And one more too that was just added that I have notes here, the Food Truck Enterprise Program. That's a free 14-week initiative that prepares participants to operate a food truck business. Again, so many people are getting into the food truck business. So maybe that is something that you would want to find out more information. You can always go to Miami-Dade College and find out more about that, but that's free as well. So, I mean, free is for me. So, and I'm sure it's for a lot of other people too, particularly if you want to better your circumstances or pivot. That's the word for, 2021, pivot. Let's do something different than what we've been doing. So how can people get more information on all of those programs that you just talked about? The Presidential Scholars, the Honors Program, as well as the, it was the Black Student Initiative. I'm sorry.
Rising Black Scholars.
Rising Black Scholar Initiative. How can they get more information on that, Dr. Charlot?
The easiest place to go to is www.mdc.edu, which is our website, to find just about everything that you need to know, including when classes start, et cetera. If you're interested in the rapid credentials, it's www.mdc.edu/kickstart. And Tamara, I can send you this information too, as well. The /kickstart, and that's for rapid credentials for in-demand jobs that you can get relatively quickly. Rising Black Scholars, I can give you an email if interested in, it's rising, RISING, @mdc.edu. And if you're interested in registering, www.mdc.edu/register.
Sounds good. Again, the website is mdc.edu. You can find out all the information there. Everything is on the website, but the Kickstart program, also Rising at mdc.edu. Just go to mdc.edu and all of the information will be there, along with all of the other campuses. Of course, Dr. Charlo is from the Kendall campus. We thank you so much. Hopefully we will see you again, Dr. Pascal Charlo. Very nice to meet you. I've had a great time talking with you today, and we will have you back. I already know that.
It will be my absolute pleasure. And I just want to say thank you to all that you do to help us not only keep connected, but to stay informed and focused on what's important. And I wish all your listeners all the very best. Please be safe. And I look forward to hopefully seeing you in person real soon.
Absolutely. And again, we're just across the county line. So we have plenty of friends and family and other relatives who we can give this information to, or if we would like to go to Miami-Dade College, again, mdc.edu for more information. Thank you so very much, Dr. Pascal Charlo. She is the president of the Miami-Dade College Kendall campus. Certainly happy to have you today, and we will definitely talk soon. Thank you so very much.
Look forward to it. Be well. Bye-bye.
And thank you for watching Good Morning Miramar. Until next time, see you.